Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AmErica show. I am your host, Erica.
Oh, America, you're calling. I can hear you calling me. You are calling me to be true to thee, true to thee. I will be. Oh, America, no weeping. Let me heal your wounded heart. I will keep you in my keeping till there be a new start. And I will answer you, and I will take your hand and lead you to the sun. And I will stand by you, do all that I can do, and we will be as one. Oh, America, I hear you from your prairies to the sea, from your mountains grand, all through this land. You are beautiful to me. And oh, America, you are calling. I can hear you calling me. You are calling me to be true to thee, true to thee. I will be, and I will answer you, and I will answer you, and I will take your hand and lead you to the sun. And I will stand by you, do all that I can do, and we will be as one. Oh, America, you are calling. I will ever answer thee. Love you, America.
Well, you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you, Paul. I know you are very patriotic and you are doing a fantastic job. Happy
But I don't have a
upcoming...
good voice. I could never sing.
Well, what you want to say to the audience, I have sung for you on
Yes.
your behalf. So happy upcoming Memorial Day. Paul Feiner is a longtime town supervisor of Greenburgh, New York, and one of the longest-serving elected officials in Westchester County. He has held the position since 1992 and is known for his accessibility, constituent service, and focus on community improvements. Notable initiatives and accomplishments: infrastructure and community projects helped bring affordable housing to Greenburgh, supported creation of new sidewalks and pedestrian-friendly improvements, oversaw construction of a new town hall powered by solar, environmental and sustainability efforts, promoted solar parking canopies at town hall, advanced green energy purchasing through Sustainable Westchester, supported EV truck purchases and battery energy storage legislation. Community recreation. Greenburgh became the first community in Westchester County with a cricket field, with Feiner playing a key role. Feiner continues to run for re-election with the upcoming elections noted for this June 2026. His top 10 goals for Greenburgh are: keeping Greenburgh together, encouraging youth participation, cutting costs, infrastructure investment, buildings and facilities, pedestrian improvements, safety improvements, Hartsdale Four Corners, mixed-use development, recreation and quality life, affordable housing. So, Paul, you are welcome back to the
Thank
AmErica
you.
show, and I feel so proud that you are an excellent mentor to me.
And you
So-
have a great show. You know, I watch your shows, and you really are making a positive contribution to our community. And, you know, I just want to say one more compliment is, you know, I think that it's important for the town government to encourage more people to get involved, because you wanted to get involved, and you're attending meetings, you're speaking out, you have your own cable TV program, and that's really democracy. You don't always have to agree, but we should be encouraging every resident of the town to participate.
Thank you so much, Paul, for all the positivity and optimism and good vibes that you keep spreading. So, our first discussion in this AmErica show had been very productive. I want to ask you again that why and how are you so accomplished for being the problem solver? What are the hardest challenges that you have solved so far in the 35 years of your being the Greenberg Town Supervisor?
Well, there's new challenges every single day of the job. I'm very, very proud of the fact that we were able to increase parkland from over 200 acres to 600 acres during my administration, and we're going to get 14 acres of additional parkland donated when the former Elmwood, Country Club becomes 113 single-family homes. So the developer is giving housing, and one of the suggestions that Doreen Lifson made, which I like, is to have a playground it's called a universal playground for those people who are disabled. So I'm excited about that. Another initiative that I'm really excited about, and all these things take time because sometimes there's a little controversy, there's budget issues, you have to get the community involved. We built about 12 miles of new sidewalks in the town, and they're still going up. You know, on Hillside Avenue, there's a great sidewalk. A new sidewalk on Dobbs Ferry Road is being built. It's almost done right now. That takes you from Knollwood to 119. Next year is going to be the highlight because we're building a sidewalk from Central Avenue and West Hartsdale Avenue all the way past the Greenberg Library. And eventually it's going to go to the community college. So people are going to be able to walk from the Hartsdale train station to Town Hall to the Greenberg Library. You know, we have sidewalks on Juniper Hill Road. This year we're building a sidewalk on Taxter Road in East Irvington. Next year we're building a sidewalk on Old Army Road in the Edgemont section of town. So we're making Greenberg a pedestrian-friendly community. You know, and there's many other initiatives we're going to be working now on. We've been working on drainage. There's a lot of areas that get flooded because all of Westchester's in a flood plain. So we've done work on individual areas, but we've also tried addressing flooding in Manhattan Brook and Troublesome Brook and Edgemont. So I think we're making a difference. There's a lot more that I could say, but I don't want to have a run-on sentence.
No, you're doing a fantastic job. I mean, we should be very proud of it. Actually, I am very proud of it. So the next question is, let's once again discuss that making Edgemont a village has been very controversial topic for years now. You have always tried to protect the unincorporated areas of Greenberg. Can you continue to resist Edgemont from becoming a village?
Well, if Edgemont becomes a village, it will be potentially devastating to the town because we could lose as much as 25% of our revenue. And if we lose 25% of our revenue, we'll have to lay off people, we'll have to cut programs, and the quality of life for everybody, including residents of Edgemont, will be impacted negatively. So let me give you an example. We have a great police department in Greenberg. If Edgemont would break away, they would have a much smaller police department, maybe 5 officers or whatever. If there's a hurricane, they wouldn't have the resources to address it. Right now, we're able to divert police from other sections of the town to Edgemont if there's an emergency. And there's always different emergencies. If there's trees are down, they need help. I also feel that if Edgemont would break away, it's going to be more expensive for them. It's going to be devastating for us. So what are we doing to keep Edgemont in the community? We have tried working with Edgemont Community Council to be responsive to their concerns. The chair of the Greenberg Planning Board is a resident of Edgemont. The former chair of the Greenberg Planning Board was also a resident of Edgemont. The new town judge was a community leader in Edgemont before she was appointed by the town board. We're appointing Edgemont residents to committees. We're building new sidewalks. We've been repaving roads in Edgemont. We've been addressing curbing, requests. We've worked on drainage issues. So one of the goals is not to make Edgemont feel that they're not valued. We want Edgemont to feel that they're appreciated, that we want them to stay in the town. And I think that our efforts are starting to pay off in a positive manner. The Edgemont Community Council, they used to always blast the town. Now on their social media pages, they frequently commend the town board for action steps we've taken to be responsive to the community. But this is in court because they filed a third petition. The first two petitions were thrown out by the appellate division, and there could be a decision later this year whether or not Edgemont residents are going to be voting on it. And if they do vote on it, I hope that the residents will decide to stay within the town because we're really better together.
Right. Thanks very much for the clarification. Okay, so Paul, you are often criticized as biased and stubborn by the town board council members. I'm so sorry. There has been an issue where you have mentioned that the building inspector and deputy building inspector should hold only one job. Paying $260,000 to one person is a tremendous amount of money. The excessive salary for the Commissioner of Public Works Buildings Inspector will create income inequality. Other department heads will now be asking for higher salaries, which will result in higher taxes for all of us. So what are you and why are you so particular about someone keeping a dual job at this moment of your being the town supervisor, and why not before?
Well, first of all, the town board just just created this just a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's really going to create major problems. The building department right now has only 3 inspectors who conduct inspections on buildings and properties. The building inspector has a second job as Commissioner of Public Works. The deputy building inspector has a second job as will have a second job as deputy town attorney, also earning more than $200,000. Then there's one inspector. There's 3 vacancies in the building department. How is it possible that one human being could do 2 very complicated jobs at the same time? And people move to the town because of the quality of the services. So if all of a sudden you have a complaint about a pothole and it's not addressed the next day, you'll notice that the town is not as responsive as it once was. If there's a problem with the snow removal, if it takes longer, you'll notice deterioration. If there's water main breaks, we need somebody to give these jobs 100%. One job, 100%. Both the building inspector and the deputy building inspector are competent, highly qualified individuals. They've done good things for the town, but I don't believe they should have 2 jobs. And again, this whole issue really is about service. We want to have
quality,
the
yes,
quality
of course.
of service. When people complain to me, it's upsetting because in the past people would complain and they would get almost instant reactions, and I don't like it when it takes time. When if you have a complaint, you should be treated as if you're the most important person in the world when you're complaining.
Right. So, Paul, you have expressed a lot of dissatisfaction about the board and the council members who have been giving you a very hard time for no reason. I have attended most of the town board meetings and have felt sheer discomfort as per their obscene body language, eye expression, and a complete soap opera. We, the taxpayers, don't pay them for any stage show. We pay them for a problem to be solved on time. So, Paul, do you think that there should be a prompt cabinet reshuffling or resignation submitted by those officials?
Well, I'm hopeful that the town board will get the message. A couple weeks ago, we had a town board meeting, and many of the Fairview Democratic district leaders, many who did not support me at the Democratic convention, showed up and said, cut out the bickering, because this is not helpful to the town. If you look at the town website and they keep posting negative information, and they're putting in adjectives that are making people really upset, I think that it's hurting property values. It's hurting people's ability to sell homes. And what really bothers me is they're not doing this because they want to make the town better. What they're trying to do is they're trying to damage the town because they want to get at me. And and I think that has to stop. I took down any opinions that I've made on from the town website, and I think they should do the same thing. So if that doesn't mean they can't criticize, but there's a way of being respectful and constructive, and they shouldn't be using the town website, which is becoming a big embarrassment to the town, to just highlight negative information. Every other community in the United States, their websites are positive, and it makes people want to move to a community, but ours doesn't. And,
Right.
and I'm really very upset, about it. It seems that it's the Democratic Party machine, the town board, the Edgemont and Corporation leadership. They've all become like a coalition, and their goal is to knock me out. And I'm trying to fight back.
Well, that is so unfair because we have to keep glorifying our town, our community, and beyond. And we cannot really compromise the dignity and prestige of the town. So,
And again, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't criticize or we shouldn't have differences. But the thing is, that's democracy. I don't want to have a town board where everybody agrees with me all the time. I want to have a town board where you feel the disagreements are constructive and that we could have a dialogue. And if we make a suggestion and they don't like it, we could have give and take and a compromise. That's the way I think government should operate.
right. So, Paul, how are you going to bring more businesses and reduce taxes if elected?
Well, I formed a procurement committee. We have a citizens group that is looking for ways of tightening up, spending. I want to oversee all the contracts and consultant costs and the outside legal costs. One of the issues that came up was the town board spent $150,000 hiring an outside attorney to represent them before the ethics board because somebody made some charges, but the ethics board never even had the power to punish them. So we spent $150,000 for nothing. We threw money away. I think the procurement committee will help us keep costs down. I'm hopeful that the board will rethink what they're doing with the building department and have a full-time building inspector, because if there's ever, God forbid, a major problem, somebody's going to sue us, and they probably, they're on, everybody on the town government is on notice that that the building department is short-staffed. They've had 3 vacancies for a couple years that they haven't filled. So I think that you can't have somebody doing the job part-time when there's so many vacancies and when the department is so short-staffed. Having one person, other than the building inspector and deputy building inspector, we have fewer people working in the building department than many other smaller communities.
Right. Okay. So affordable housing is in limelight and is a talk of the town. Young families want good properties in a substantially reduced cost and reasonable property taxes. How can you pave the way and make people happy?
Well, we were the first town in, I think, New York that required 10% of all housing and multifamily housing to be affordable. And we've turned some foreclosed properties into affordable housing. We are looking at other changes. The board recently approved an ADU law that allows accessory dwelling units. Yesterday, I was knocking on doors, and one person told me he's planning to apply. So hopefully that will be helpful. I think we're going to change the town code that will require some affordable housing. Could be 10% in single-family developments. So if they're building, say, 100 units of housing, 10% would be affordable. On West Hartsdale Avenue, on the Four Corners, in Hartsdale Central Avenue, we're looking at mixed-use development, and we just met with another developer in the Elmsford section of town who is interested in creating some workforce housing. There's also a very interesting program in Connecticut and Albany where some volunteer fire departments, they've created they've created like 1 or 2 units in their complex, and they give it to a student who could live there at either reduced cost or no cost, and then in return the student has to volunteer for ambulance or fire calls.
And do you have any special plan for the senior homes?
Well, we right now in a senior housing is going up. Brightview assisted living is going up on Dobbs-Ferry Road. It's under construction. We've approved a lot of assisted living housing. I think there's a need for senior over 55, housing, and also some of these units should be affordable.
Right. Okay. So, Paul, this year you will face off with a candidate in the June primary. How confident are you to be the winner again? What are your plan and mantra?
Well, you never could be confident because we don't know what voters are what they're thinking. So what you have to do is you have to reach out to the public. I spend every evening knocking on doors. I also go around. I've been doing this every year in the spring, summer, and fall, even when I'm not running. I go on the bicycle and I stop everybody who's walking their dog or riding or walking or on their front lawn doing gardening or relaxing. And I ask them, what could we do to make your town better? And that's how I sort of get a sense what the community is about and what the community concerns are. So, that's basically what I'm going to continue to do. I want to reach out to the community. I want to let people know that their concerns are important, that that we treat them as important assets to our community. And, I'm feeling positive. I love the town, and I think we're going to do a lot of great things in the future.
So I just want to know a few things from you. Somebody was mentioning to me about a community center So I know that we have the Theodore Young and the multipurpose room of the Greenberg Public Library has been featuring a lot of important and unique events. So do you have any plan for a recreation come a community center in a separate place? Do you have any plan?
Well, we have two centers right now, one at Anthony Veteran Park and one at Theodore Young Community Center. This summer, I'm really excited. We're going to have jazz concerts every Thursday at the
wow.
Theodore Young Community Center. They stopped it for a couple of years, but they're restoring it this year. And they get hundreds of people, usually on Thursday nights. So if you're free, you'll love it. They get like world-class Lincoln Center quality musicians playing every Thursday. But we're always looking for ways of making Greenberg better. And
Right.
recreation is really important. Community centers are important. And there's other activities. We're just putting lights up at the Elmsford Little League field so they could have more games. So we're going to be working to get a batting cage so the Elmsford Little League players could practice. So I think that there's a lot of positive things that we're going to do.
I have one more question before we move on to our closing. Parkway Homes. We have witnessed that there has been a very tragic incident a few days back. It's a homicide combination with a suicide. So what are your plans to control? I know that your sister is doing a wonderful job. And if you can kindly tell our viewers that how you are going to, and you were present at the candlelight vigil.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my sister's place, Hope's Door, there's the Westchester County. There's a lot of programs and services that are available to families who are worried about domestic violence. The police should always be called if somebody suspects that something negative could happen. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to encourage people to take advantage of the programs, but I'm also offering to help the young man who lost his family as a result of this suicide murder. And what I'm hopeful is that I could try figuring out a way of helping him have a good life in the future, because it's so sad what happened to him. And we want him to, years from now, look back and say, this was horrible, but the community came to my rescue.
Right. Okay, anything else you want
No, that's about
to
it.
convey?
So thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, sure. So I would like to convey my sincere thankfulness to Mr. Paul Feiner for his valuable time and very informative discussion. He is accomplished, confident, and experienced. Paul is an expert and is going strong for 35 years now. We need to learn from him first and then criticize or try to replace him with someone else. That someone else has to be an expert too. If a crucial problem comes up, then he needs to solve it with peace and ease. Time is valuable, and Paul has already been a great problem solver. Paul's hot seat is not for earning, it is for problem solving and making a great community. As I am learning, I am realizing how important it is to understand and gather experience. Paul is a great mentor to all. Wish Paul all the very best of luck for this June primary. And a very happy Memorial Day to you in an advance and to our viewers. And thanks to the studio engineers for their patience, creativity, composition, and professionalism. So guys, we'll see you all next month with a new topic, new episode, and new panelist. Kindly stay tuned.